Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Sleeper Spec circuit setup, and this time we've got another requested build, this time for the 2004 Impreza Spec C, a very capable performance sedan, and so let's see what kind of difference we can make to this car's lap potential. Now for any who are perhaps newer to this series or unfamiliar with it, what we do in Sleeper Spec is we take a car with potential and then we upgrade it, but in such a way that nobody can actually tell. It has the same PP, the same visuals, the same power, the same weight, but it's quicker. So as far as tyres, I've gone for sport softs, as we usually do. Obviously racing softs will be even better. Upgraded the brakes, of course, and that is a way that you can tell, but most people don't notice that kind of change. As far as suspension, we've got the ride height on 140, just like stock. Springs we've increased to 675 and 575. The dampers to 4, anti-roll on 3, neutral camber and tow. We'll come back to the gearbox in just a second. As far as the diff, we've got the lowest initial torque, highest acceleration and highest braking. You don't have to do that, of course, and I would, as always, recommend personal variation. As far as the centre diff, I've opted, as you can see, to send 80% of the torque to the rear to help to keep the loose end, or the front end, nice and loose. As far as the clutch and prop shaft, we've upgraded those. I've gone for the twin plate clutch as opposed to the triple, because you don't really need the triple, you haven't got that much power and torque to deal with. As far as the drivetrain, or the gearbox, we've got an auto setting of 162, then for the individual gears, I've just rounded them off to 3575, 2475, 1850, 1450, 1175 and 1 with a final drive of 3.8. And as far as power and weight, you want to do nothing to the car at all, not even an oil change. So that's it overall for the build. Now let's see what kind of a difference to, of course, the lap time it can make. Now, as I mentioned, the Spec C of any generation of Impreza is always a strong performance car. That's the whole point of it. So, as far as the difference in lap time, there's no real guarantee that it's going to be a big difference, because the car's so good anyway that really how much can you genuinely improve it by? There's only so quick you can make a vehicle without improving its power and weight, surely. Well, apparently not, because this car is 4.5 seconds quicker over one lap of Motegi. Now, Motegi is longer than some tracks, but it's also a relatively simple track if you look at the way it's laid out. The corners are generally fairly close to 90 degrees, and it's kind of a similar track. As you go through it, the corners are all very similar to each other, and there's a lot of straight sections where the handling doesn't really make that much of a difference. So to be 4.5 seconds quicker around this track is actually a pretty big deal for this car. And obviously if you take it on a much longer course like the Nürburgring Ring, Sierra, or other tracks, Ascari perhaps, then the differences that you'll see will be even bigger. So if you do decide to use this build, obviously I hope you find it fun, first and foremost, but also more competitive, which it most certainly is. And if you'd like to request builds, not just in Sleeper Spec, but other tunes as well, or subscribe to keep up with these builds as soon as they come out, be sure to do those down below. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.